Good afternoon, everyone. Call to order. City Council meeting scheduled for 9 March 2023. Ms. Adams, can we have a roll call?
Mayor Clea McCaw.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Carolyn Humphrey.
Present.
Councilmember William Benning.
Present.
Councilmember Gregory Johnson.
Present.
Councilmember Angelica Landry.
Present.
Councilmember Marta Messmer.
Present.
Councilmember Mark Rodriguez.
Present.
Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Adams. We will have our Pledge of Allegiance by the Girl Scout Troop, Brownie 419, Junior 104, and Cadet Senior 1224. They will lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance after the invocation of Pastor Justin McPeak from the Thunder Mountain Community Church. Please stand.
I'll pray. Oh, Father, I thank you for the way you've placed us in this community, and I pray over and for our leaders that you would give them wisdom and discernment as I look at the agenda and I look at the items and the resolutions for discussion. Give them wisdom and discernment. Give them insight how best to serve our community. Thank you for placing us in it. Give them the courage to always do the right thing regardless of the cost. I thank you for how good you are. And I pray this, Jesus, in your name. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may have your seats.
I like that ribbon. I like that bow. Can I have it? Can I have it? Are you sure? Okay. Oh, I like that badge.
Well, today is a very special day.
Badge.
As you see, we have our Girl Scouts here, and I understand that there's one young lady who is turning 18 today, and her name is Miss Ashley Fashard. Fashard. So, Ashley, we want to wish you a happy birthday on today. She's 18, almost out the house.
They're never out of the house.
Happy birthday, ma'am. And on this day, we want to do a proclamation to the Girl Scouts of Sierra Vista. Whereas Girl Scouts of the USA is the largest leadership organization for girls in the world, and the number of Girl Scouts has grown to over 2.7 million members. And whereas Girl Scouting helps girls develop their full individual potential, relate to others with increasing understanding, skills, and respect, and provide a foundation for sound decision-making. And whereas Juliet Gordon Lowe organized the first Girl Scout troop on March 12, 1912, and the first Girl Scout cookie sale placed in 1917. And whereas this year marks the 106th year since the Girl Scout cookie program began and celebrates the 111th anniversary of Girl Scouts of the USA. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Clea McCaw II, Mayor of Sierra Vista, Arizona, do hereby proclaim March the 12th through 17th to be Girl Scout Week in and for the city of Sierra Vista. In witness of wherefore, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the great seal of the city of Sierra Vista to be affixed this 9th day of March in the year of our Lord 2023 in the independence of the United States of America to the 246th. Mayor Clea McCaw. I asked her if she wanted to speak. She said she's all right. But let's give it up for our Girl Scout and Brownie troop. Come on, let's give it up for her.
Lily.
Good job.
Happy birthday.
Youth Commission member, yeah.
We didn't even sing for it.
Good thing. Good thing.
I agree. Where is everybody going?
You recruited from Youth Commission?
She's the one that held the youth commission together during, all by herself.
Excellent, excellent. All right. Item 1, Ms. Messmer.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Messmer.
Mr. Mayor, may I move that the agenda for the regular council meeting of March 9th, 2023 be approved.
Second.
Comments? Questions? Ready for the question? All those in favor? Any opposed? Passed. No awards presentations. We already did our proclamation, city manager report. Mr. Tuchek.
Thank you, Mayor McCaw, members of the council. Your next regularly scheduled work session is scheduled for March 21st, 3 p.m. here in the council chambers. We'll do our normal update work session, and this one is important in particular because we're kicking off our fiscal year 24 budget season, and our first budget work session will cover our initial revenue projections and our debt service requirements for the coming year. You'll have future meetings that will cover other various aspects of the budget as well. So a good time to learn about our revenues at that point. Then your next council meeting is scheduled for the 23rd, and that'll be that Thursday here at 5 p.m. also in the council chambers. Few projects tonight. As I mentioned Tuesday, we're going out with an RFP for transit driver services. Hiring, it does seem to be improving a little bit in that area, so that's a good sign, but of course there's a lag in terms of training, so that's being worked on, but this also might help us. So the Federal Transit Administration is reviewing that RFP, and once we get that back, we'll be able to go out. The site prep for the prefab bathrooms at Arbens and Veterans Park was scheduled to start on the 27th of February, so that's underway, and estimated completion time is the end of May for the site prep. And then following right behind that then will be the prefab restrooms that'll be built on those sites with an estimated completion of June of this year. And then we had in the budget a new restroom for the Fleet Services Center. Our quote came in $65,000 over budget, so we're trying to obtain 2 other quotes to see if we can bring that cost down. And finally, we received the sales tax report for January today. So a little mixed bag. The overall report was up, so the actuals over budget are 6.7% year-to-date up, and then in comparison with fiscal year 22, that month was up 8.89%, so we're almost 9% over last year. That's the good news. The bad news is when you look a little deeper into the numbers, our general sales tax numbers for, basic goods, food, et cetera, was only up 2.84%. And of course, that's the bulk of our sales tax revenue. So something to keep in mind and watch out for as we go forward. We'll probably be ratcheting down our sales tax projections a little bit for next year's budget as a result of this until we see some more numbers. So we'll keep a close eye on that, which reiterates the importance of the food tax to our revenue base, and that is still making its way through the legislature, and we're being asked to sign in opposed to that on Monday. So. And that's all I have tonight, then, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Questions, comments for? Thank you, sir. Item number 2, Councilman Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the consent agenda consisting of the special city council meeting minutes of February 21, 2023, and the work session minutes of February 21, 2023, and the regular city council meeting minutes of February 23rd, 2023, and Resolution 2023-011, appointment of Stephen Peterson to the Industrial Development Authority be approved.
Second.
Comments? Questions? Everybody ready for the vote? All those in favor? Opposed? It's passed.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Mayor, do we, I noticed Stevens
Mr.
out
Peterson's here. but-
Oh, Mr. Peters is here.
there. So he,
Mr. Peterson?
so he'll have to hang around, right, to be sworn in, like,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
clerk? Okay, just so you don't run off now that.
Run, young man, run.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for attending. Thank you for attending. Good to see you again. So we will go to our public hearings. Ms. McLaughlin.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, good evening. So we're at the beginning of the process in deciding how to use next year's community development block grant funds, just over $250,000. The input that we received today will be factored into the annual action plan that will be presented at a second public hearing at your first meeting in April. This year, we're proposing one capital project, and we've received 3 applications for public services from 3 nonprofit agencies who are here in attendance today. Just a reminder, there's a 15% cap on public services, which equates to about $37,500 that can be allocated for that use. All the applications satisfy the HUD's national objective of benefiting low to moderate income persons. Over the past 4 program years, the bulk of the funds have been allocated towards public infrastructure and facility projects, followed by public services, housing rehabilitation, and small business assistance during the pandemic. Less than 1% has been allocated towards administration. On city projects, we're recommending that $162,575 be used to install fire hydrants in the Montebello subdivision, which was annexed into the city in 2010. This is one of the city's CDBG target areas. 72% of the population in that neighborhood are in the low to moderate income bracket. According to the city's fire marshal, 10 to 14 fire hydrants are urgently needed and will significantly reduce the risk of fire loss within this area. It should also help to lower property insurance premiums. We're also requesting that $50,000 be set aside for planning, updating the city's consolidated 5-year consolidated plan, and other regulatory compliance measures. In terms of outside agency requests, the United Way is seeking $37,500 for emergency subsistence payments and other programs to help people in need. Dr. Anthony Reed, the executive director, is here to walk you through their proposal. The Cochise Family Advocacy Center has submitted a revised budget of $35,724 for providing trauma-focused services to victims of violent crimes. Ann Thrush, their executive director, is going to be presenting their proposal to you. And the Southern Arizona Legal Aid Organization is requesting funds for outreach and education on available free civil legal aid services to low-income individuals in Sierra Vista. And William Moore, one of the attorneys that works for that organization, will be presenting their request to you. We've asked each nonprofit to limit their presentations to 10 minutes, if that's acceptable to you.
Sir.
We've included written comments that we received to date in your packet. We're also encouraging input from the public here in attendance on how next year's community development block grant funds should be prioritized.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We'll hear from you. Dr. Reed, welcome.
Afternoon. Your Honor, City Council, everybody here. On behalf of the Board of United Way, I want to thank you guys again for an opportunity. What I can tell you, the CDBG funds that we've used in the past, it helped a lot of people back then, and it still continues to help people today. And
Could you use the microphone?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
use the mic. Oh, I'm sorry.
Some of us need help.
Okay. So I, on behalf of the board, I want to thank you again for the opportunity to help, because the bulk of the funds that we get are for low and moderate income families in this community. Here's a breakdown. A breakdown of what we're asking for is $37,500, and the individual breakdown goes as such. rental assistance and utilities assistance continues. We continue to see people who are hurting in these areas. This is the bulk of what we were asked for. And most of the people are from the low income area that we want to make sure they're in dire straits here in the area. Rental assistance, none of the money, and utilities assistance, none of the money goes directly into the recipient's hands. The check is written and it goes directly to the landlord. It goes directly to the utility service toward that bill that's going on. And then at the same time, too, then we also have dialogue with them to ensure that we're helping them with this, but we want to make sure that they're not going to be evicted. And we also ask them as much as they can to have skin in the game when we're assisting them. For the food assistance, we try to do it at key times and key opportunities, depending on when the CDBG funds are going to be provided to me. For instance, the beginning of summer, when everybody's getting ready to go go on summer break from school. A lot of these kids, they don't have. If it wasn't for school, they wouldn't have breakfast and lunch. Or sometimes, if it's during the holidays, we make sure we have a plentiful Thanksgiving and Christmas baskets. And also for spring break, we have one coming with these last CDBG funds. We still have money that we set aside for spring break to make sure that the kids can continue to eat during that time. And that's all of that is distributed in the area over there by Carmichael School and St. Andrews in that area there. And also with the food, we also provide for other nonprofits like Peaches Pantry and St. Vincent de Paul as well for the food. So the people that I can't reach, they can reach, and make sure that we can reach as many people as possible. United Way has a Bucks for Books program for the summer reading program. And what United Way does for the entire county, we provide books for first graders because that's like one of the key places between first and second grade to get those reading scores and start getting people thinking more about reading and education. Well, for these funds for the CDBG, particularly for Sierra Vista, particularly for Carmichael School, we want to be able to do it not just for first graders, but we want to be able to do it for first through third graders at Carmichael School. And for those that's not familiar with the program, because the teachers are familiar with the reading levels of every kiddo, their reading levels are different. So the teachers identify the students. We make sure that we're going to take care of everybody in those grade levels, but they buy the books and send me the bill with Scholastic Reading. Each child will get 7 books, and they get a backpack, and they get a letter of explanation from the United Way of why we're doing this. It's a great program, and we feel that with the CDBG funds, we'll be able to enhance Carmichael School and help them raise their letter grade, of which I understand that they're struggling a little bit to raise the grades up for that. For the homeless hotel vouchers, we work with Good Neighbor Alliance. When Good Neighbor Alliance, there's the homeless community is I don't want to say thriving, but growing here in the area. When they go, we direct them to Good Neighbor Alliance. I just had a lady who's got like 7 dogs that's right outside my office, and she's got a bike and a tent and everything else. I directed her to Good Neighbor Alliance. Some days she goes over there, some days she doesn't. When Good Neighbor Alliance doesn't have enough room in their facility, then they provide hotel vouchers for people. So then what we do, then they come to us and we help bridge that gap. And they have a fund for it and we have a fund, so we're able to help that many more people to get them off the street. I mean, I just can't help but think about when it was just freezing here maybe a week or two ago, and people were out on the street. So that's what those funds are for. And also employment assistance. We help people. We work with the employers in town. A lot of people say, I need people to work. And then we go and gather the people. We help them with resumes. We try to help them through providing them, showing them how to dress and how to interview and things like that, to help them with employment assistance as well, to get people employed and get people on their feet. Because a lot of people that ask us for assistance, it's more of a pride thing for a lot of people. And they want to be able to work for themselves. They want to be able to do things for themselves. And this is going to enable them to be able to do more for themselves. And last but not least are the administrative costs. Although United Way of Sierra Vista and Cochise County is for the whole county, you are looking at the entire employment staff right here. So, and then in that, I work with Matt and I provide monthly reports of everything that's going on. If we have to make changes, I contact him as well. And if you have, at any time, if you need a breakdown of what we're doing, I'm always available to explain that. And I hope I didn't go outside of my 10 minutes. And I'm wondering at this time, does anybody have any questions for me?
Questions of Dr. Reed?
Not yet, after all three go.
I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, Dr. Reed, and breaking it down. I really appreciate all the information that you provide and breaking down the different categories and stuff too. So, very thorough breakdown. So I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. And what we've learned is I can't do everything because I'm only a one-man shop. But if I can work with all the other places and people and things like that, if someone comes to me, if I don't have the answer, I have the resources and I have the other people who can help. And it's all like a team effort in the community to try to make sure that we take care of people who are here in dire straits.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Reed, I'm just looking at your application here, and what really stuck out at me was your breakdown of the people that were actually helped. You have 345 families receiving rental assistance,
Yes.
which included 261 children. 214 families received utility assistance, and right on down the road. And I appreciate you putting that in there because it really shows the impact that your organization has in using these funds, these CDBG funds, to the best and highest use. So thank you for putting that in there.
Right. Everyone that receives assistance in any of the categories that you saw, then we kind of have them fill out a demographic sheet. How many people are in your family? What's your income level? It even breaks down. There's a section in the sheet that they have to fill out about religion and if they're disabled, if they're smoking, if there's elderly, and all those things like that. And it helps us to see where the need is, because some of the categories need more help in certain areas than others.
Right.
So,
Right.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
That's it.
Other questions? Comments?
I appreciate the part about the job assistance, resume writing, and we talked about this in our youth commission, is when it comes to doing interviews, right? There's a big gap there when it comes to people going to interviews now than probably in the previous years, where it's kind of like a given, but you needed to know what you needed to wear. So appreciate you guys doing that. Do y'all offer, or do you need, like, clothes, ties, like dress?
Between
Interview
Salvation
appropriate.
Army, we could always use more, but between Salvation Army and we get some donations from the fort, and then even working with Dillard's, sometimes they provide things for us as well.
Okay.
But any help that we can get, we'll take.
Okay, thank you.
And to add to that, by the way, thank you for all the work you've done with the previous CDBG money that you helped distribute and work with our community partners. You've been a great community partner in helping us get those funds to the people that need it. And for the employment assistance, I'm wondering if you could partner with Better Work, because do you know about Better Work?
Yes.
Okay. If you don't, Matt can tell you.
Better Work and AZ
Arizona at Work.
Arizona at
Yeah.
Work.
It sounds like it'd be right in line with when they graduate that program, when they complete the hours. Maybe that's another area you could help out with.
Yes, ma'am.
But thank you for everything you're doing.
All right. Thank you.
Dr. Reed, thank you. United Way does an amazing job as far as collaboration with all nonprofit entities in Sierra Vista. We just want to show you our gratitude, all the things that you do. One-man show, doing all this work for the greater cause. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, I got none. Your wife might beg to differ on that one-man show, though.
Okay. Two-man show.
2 man, 3 man. I got questions afterward. I'm gonna wait till everybody talks. Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Thank you, sir.
There's no particular order the way the nonprofits were listed in my memo, but the second one was Cochise Family Advocacy Council.
Oh, okay. Oh, Lord's Place.
No, that's Coach.
Oh, Mike.
Little to your left.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity to come and speak to you about our application. As you may know, we are Lori's Place, Cochise Family Advocacy Center. We provide services to victims of violent crimes, which range from rape, assault, sexual assault, child abuse, the whole gamut, human trafficking. And we even provide services for victims who were witness to homicides and witness to suicides. We provide services to them as well. I know that my application packet was kind of thin, and I do apologize for that. I kind of got on board to this with a limited amount of time. What I'd like to point out is some of the statistics, which you all may be somewhat aware of, but I'm going to go ahead and reiterate them. So recently there was an article in the Herald Review, and it was stated that there were, in 2021, there were 26 rape/sexual assaults reported in Sierra Vista. And in 2022, it was the same. So 21 and 22, they had 26 that were reported. I went back and, checking our records. So for 2022, we had, at Lori's Place, we had 159 victims that we provided services to that ranged from 6 years old all the way up to, I believe the oldest one was 62. Of those, some of it was sexual abuse, neglect, all of the above. We've even had clients that were witnesses to homicide of a family member. They witnessed their mother being murdered. So the numbers are staggering, and when you see that difference from what's actually being reported and what's actually happening, it is a huge difference. And we work very hard to try and, number one is taking care of that victim, providing them the services that they need, but also trying to talk to them about part of the healing process is reporting and telling their story. The prosecution rate is not as high as we all would like it to be, but it's due to a numerous number of factors. We are trying to reach more of the community. That 159 that I spoke of is maybe not even what would fill a thimble within this community of the things that are going on. Part of that is, a lot of folks are afraid to report it to law enforcement, and they don't know about us. They don't know who we are. They don't know what we do. We have been working very hard for the last 2 years to get the word out there and join in a lot of different events where we can actually tell people who we are, what we do, how we can help them. Part of that going forward, and the reason why I'm looking for these CDBG funds, is to help us with the marketing costs, to actually get the word out there, and also to help us with the operational costs that we have. Right now, things are very, very tight for us. With the inflation that's gone on, people just don't have the money to donate like they had in the past. And we're coming to a very difficult situation in the next few years. The majority of our funding comes from VOCA, the Victims of Crime Act. Their budget is going to be reduced by 50 to 55% over the next years, starting in fiscal year 2024. So that means our expenses aren't going down any, so that means we have to seek many other ways in which we can continue to provide the services that we provide. So as you look at our application, I've shown there just a portion of the overhead expenses, a portion of the marketing that we are currently doing, which is a relatively new undertaking. We've been doing radio spots. I speak at any endeavor that wants me to come and talk to them, any gathering. We've held a chamber-sponsored or chamber event, Business at Twilight, to kind of help get that word out as well. But all of these things do cost money, and so that's why I am applying for this. We are the only facility of its sort in Cochise County, Graham County, and Greenlee County. So we service a large area, and I will tell you, a good percentage of that is right here in Sierra Vista, which is why I'm applying to you all to help us with that situation. All I can say is thank you for your time, and please consider us for some of these funds. Is there any questions?
Thank you, ma'am. Are there any questions?
Comments.
Comments? Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Rush. I was there at the Business at Twilight. For the longest time, living here, Lori's place, kind of like it was more like a secretive place. Nobody knew about where it's at for particular reasons. But also, I see on the other side of that, you do need to put it out to the people that need it. So it's kind of I know it's a hard balance to either keep it, kind of tucked away, but you also want the people that are in need to know where it's at. So I applaud you on trying to do the marketing side of that. And I just seeing the workspace that you guys are in, you don't have this big old desk area. You have your little corner that you just work out of. So that's amazing. Your whole operation works like that, and I really appreciate that. Y'all focus more on the victims. They have the biggest rooms in your place.
Yes.
The playroom, the exam room, the video, all that stuff it's for the victim, and you can see that at your location. So I like that. There's other places I've seen that it seems the opposite. It seems backwards, where the victims don't get that, that welcome that you get. So I really appreciate what you guys are doing there.
I would like to address what you're saying there. So you could ask any one of my staff what their number one priority is, and they will say the victim. That is our mantra, and our motto is our number one priority is the victim and what they need. And as far as it being more of a secretive place, since we don't house people there, we provide services to them, and we coordinate directly with Good Neighbor Alliance and the Forgash House and lots of other places. And we also work with a couple of the hotels so that, if we have the petty cash and there's nowhere else for them to go when they're trying to leave a situation, we will put them up for a night or two in a hotel. But when they designed this building, Lori, the founder of it, and her family, when this building was designed, they installed, when you enter, and you may have noticed, we had everyone come in through the main entry. You come into a lobby area and you go to a window. It's bulletproof glass that somebody will talk to you, find out what you're here for, and then they will buzz you in through a door, which puts you in a hallway. And we don't buzz the second door until that door closes, so that we have control of who actually can get inside the building, just in case someone comes there, looking for someone that they've abused and, trying to do something not so good. So it was a really unique design. It's a bulletproof hallway, totally secure, and that way we can kind of leave them locked in there until law enforcement can respond.
Yeah, I like that feature. It functions better than our current jail does, I think. Unfortunately.
Sadly true.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you so much for being here and for sharing with us. It's such an important thing that you do in service that you provide. Looking out for people that are. When something happens, it's very scary. You don't know what to do. You don't want to report it. There's a lot of fear. So it's wonderful to have a safe place and to know that there's people out there that can help you through that. So thank you so much for what you do.
Yes, thank you. I love what I do, so.
You're a veteran as well, right?
I am,
Thank you
yes.
for your service. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Just also want to thank you. You are offering a really important and unique service to our county. And I know you partnered with our police department and Cochise County Sheriff's Department. And my only request is if you, I would like to see a more detailed, I know Matt would be willing to work with you guys to complete the packet so we can
Yes,
see
and I can
exactly-
provide you all of the statistics and everything for the
That'd be great.
services. Yeah, we can do all of that.
But I'm
Like I
happy
said,
to see that
my apologies.
you're here for the first time, and I'm glad that you're coming to us because we do have these monies, and we want them to be used in the best way that they can. So
Yes,
thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Kind of next and last is
William Moore.
William Moore, attorney at law. Yeah, judge. Your Honor.
Hey, we need one of those.
Good afternoon, everyone, mayor, board, staff. I appreciate having the opportunity to be before you. I'm the managing attorney at Southern Arizona Legal Aid. Our office is down in Bisbee, and I think that it is long overdue that we presented ourselves in Sierra Vista. And I wanted to say our organization started back in 1951. In 1976, we started providing services in Cochise County. And so we are a nonprofit law firm. All of our services are offered to low-income families. All of our services are free, pro bono. We do housing. We do family law, consumer protection, immigration. We have a presence on the reservations. We serve 9 counties and 11 reservations. As I was listening to Dr. Young and the other individual that was up here for the domestic violence presentation, what I wanted to say is a lot of people, they look at us and and I give great homage to the police department, the fire department, the nurses, the doctors, and they call them first responders. But they don't realize that we as nonprofit organizations, we too are first responders because we get the call when somebody is in a domestic violence situation or somebody is being evicted and they got a 5-day notice and they got to go to court in 2 days and they don't know what to do and they're freaking out. We are first responders. So I really do appreciate you all having us here. And as I was listening to Dr. Reed, and he said he's a one-man show or a man and woman show, but we are an extension of United Way. So when United Way gets that money and somebody's about to be evicted, but the landlord says, I don't care that you're about to be evicted. We're the attorneys that run into court and say, hey, judge, can you stop that eviction because I got money coming from United Way? Or we're the attorney that I heard her talk about VOCA. We do have VOCA out in our Tucson office, so we do domestic violence. We're the attorneys in our family law area. We primarily focus on domestic violence situations where there's a mother who's in a situation and doesn't know what to do and is facing eviction and gets locked out of her home. And so there's one person that has the power, so we step in and try to level the playing field in that respect. We have about 60 employees in our office. Our main office is in Tucson. I manage our most southern office in Bisbee, and quite frankly, I believe that we ought to have a presence in Sierra Vista, and I am really moving towards that for this year to put us in Sierra Vista. We're noticing that most of the cases throughout, I cover Greenlee, Graham, and Cochise County, and most of the cases come out of Cochise County, but Sierra Vista tops the chart in terms of the clients that we see. We serviced 130 clients last year in Sierra Vista. The next highest level of service went to people in Douglas. So I've talked to my executive director and I said, we need to be in Sierra Vista. And so one of the things that we want to do is, and our ask is very modest. I've listened, to the others. We're asking for $5,700 and $34, roughly. And that's really to position us so that we can go out and educate the public. They hear about us, but they don't see us. So we want to be, in the Forgash House. We want to be in the college. We want to be at Good Neighbor Alliance. We want to host a legal roundtable so that we can have these nonprofits come together and judges and attorneys come together to say, what are the needs? Where do we need to prioritize our services? We just did a presentation in front of Rotary, and Chuck was there, and I believe the past mayor was there, current mayor was there. So we put a presentation, and we saw, I don't have the charts here today, but we saw this area just topping the chart over all other districts, right? So we want to be here. This ask is just has a little bit amount for overhead, some snacks, but what we want to do is go out and educate. We want to do outreach because we are the extension of these organizations. They don't see us, but we're in court saying, Judge, please, level the playing field for these families, level the playing field. Don't evict this person. I remember I had a client who was about to be evicted and was in front of, he's just retired, Judge Raymaker, he just retired. And I was sitting in the back of the court because I had talked to my client and says, this is what you need to say in the court. And I'm sitting in the back of the courtroom and I'm realizing she's sinking fast, right? So I go up and I sit, and Judge Raymaker was just about to render his decision to say, you're evicted. And I stepped, I says, excuse me, Your Honor, may I approach? I want to enter my appearance on behalf of this client. And he looks at me and he says, Mr. Moore, why are you interrupting me? I said, well, Judge, there's a situation, and I had known that she had tried to apply for rental assistance. But there was a problem where the money wasn't coming down from the state fast enough. So he says, okay, Mr. Moore, I'm going to continue this, until this afternoon. You be back here, and we're going to deal with this. So while during the break, I made a call to the state, to the governor's office, and spoke to his chief of staff. And I said, look, I got this client who's about to be evicted. We need this money here. We need something to give to the judge to say that this money is coming. And I think I had to be in court at like 2 o'clock. At like 1:45, I get this email from the state that says she's been approved for her rental assistance. And I run into court and I hand it up to the judge, and Judge Raymaker looks at me. He says, I never seen anything like this in my life. He said, Mr. Moore has called the state. And that woman was able to, resolve the issue and was able to stay in the home a little while longer. But this is what we do. This is why we want to position ourselves. I just heard that Pima County just got money for rental assistance. So I'm listening to what's happening in Tucson, and I'm like, wait a minute, where's the money for Cochise County? So I'm like, hey, wait a minute, we need to be on the phone saying, give us our money so that United Way and these other organizations can have more money to do what they're trying to do. So I just hope that you give great consideration to our modest ask. And so that we can be a partner. I think we can be a great partner for the city and bring even more resources. Pima County, Tucson, they partner with our legal aid. And I'm like, well, what about us? I feel like we're the stepchild out here. No, we have opportunities too. We can be a great partner. And I hope you give great consideration to our ask. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Questions? Comments?
I'll let them comment on this, and then I got overall there, Mr. Mayor. I'm waiting to the end.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you so much for being here and putting your application and presenting the information to it. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think it's a very modest ask. I was kind of surprised when I saw your paperwork and went through it. One of my questions was how many clients, and you already answered that at over 130 here in this area. I think it's important. As a recovering attorney myself, I think it's an important thing that you do, and interfacing with not only the police department but various nonprofits here. Your ask is very, very modest, and I applaud your efforts. And we need you here in Sierra Vista, so we've got plenty of space on the west end for you.
We are looking for space. So.
Got some, sir.
All right, again, thank you for being here. Normally, when you hear free legal, it's not a good thing. You don't trust those free legal things. But in this case, it's obviously you're an advocate, and people do reach out to you and need your help. So thank you for being part of that. I've seen your guys set up at our Community Connect over at the Ethelberger. So hopefully you have some metrics of some numbers that are working out, how your clients coming from there. So thank you for being there for that, and for serving the vets too at Warrior Healing Center, things like that. I appreciate that. Yes, it was I saw your modest amount, but I saw that you put a little note that your fundraising does not go to outreach. So those kind of connected the dots for me. Like, oh, okay, so I see what they're trying to say here is they do this fundraising, but none of that gets used towards your outreach, which is what you're trying to do. So I appreciate you clarifying that too. Thank you.
Thank you.
I am grateful that you're still pursuing to set up shop in Sierra Vista because you do service a lot of folks. I had an experience about 10 years ago or so. A neighbor of mine, she had lost her job and needed help. But she only spoke mostly Spanish. It was like her daughter who translated for me what was going on. So I started calling around. I ended up on the phone with an attorney. I never heard of legal aid. They told me about legal aid. I call them. They have someone that speaks Spanish that can work it out directly, and they help her out. And that was otherwise I would have never known about legal aid. So I understand the need for this outreach, and I'm glad to see it on here. And I hope we can work it in with the other requests.
We want a big sign on a building in Sierra Vista somewhere that says Southern Arizona Legal Aid.
Yeah, that would be good.
If I'm correct, you're also fluent in Spanish as well.
Un poquito.
Sí. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna address all three, y'all. I like giving things away. People know I'm very big on nonprofits. I do a lot with nonprofits. I'm vice president of United Way, so when we vote, I'm going to have to recuse myself anyway. Lois Place, I was there in the beginning. I helped build the playroom. I helped finance and pay for the playground out back. It's a great concept, great idea. I want to see coming. And Judge Moore, like you said, without your organization and organizations like yours, we can't keep those organizations working. All three of y'all said something I love to hear, and I push, and everyone on council and the mayor push, is collaboration. Every organization up here say Good Neighbors Alliance, St. Jude, and brought all our other organizations together, which makes me say one more thing. One, I don't know how you came up with $5,734. It'd been better if you put in 50 cents. I would have loved it. I did some quick math. Unfortunately, we have about $37,500 to give away, which means if we give it all to one person, two people are going to go home saying, you know what, shoulda, coulda, woulda, let me try better next time. Instead, why don't we give you a little bit more than I'm just suggesting to council my idea, why don't we give you a little bit more than $5,734, and we'll just go straight $6,000. And then we'll split the $37,500 amongst the other two at $15,750. Everybody goes home a winner and keeps doing good things for Sierra Vista, and council gives away CDBG funds. Because I know none of y'all would mind going away with something. So that would be my suggestion. All three great organizations, Mr. Mayor and council, and I appreciate y'all being here. But I can't vote on it, so I want to put that out there. Here's my idea, and I know we've done it before, where we even had the city come up with some money for a parking lot. But that would be my suggestion. And again, thank y'all for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming. All three organizations are just remarkable in the things that you do. I myself as well have to recuse myself because Ramona is the president of the United Way. So we look forward to servicing all three. You know, it's just a hard vote. You know, so I know the council will talk about it as we will communicate, and we'll see you in I guess a couple of weeks or so.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like Matt to maybe inform the council as to the next steps in the process, and
Yes, sir.
then certainly we'll make ourselves available to the applicants to see if we can find an amicable recommendation that meets with the council's desires.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
I would also note, I don't know if you received any public comment cards. This is a public hearing. Any input from the?
Nobody
No,
requested
no.
to speak.
Okay, all right, okay, good. So, yeah, normally, historically, we've funded one nonprofit application. Obviously, you have three compelling requests, and, we'll do the paperwork that's required if the desire is to go with all three. So our recommendation would be to decide how to allocate the $37,500. One proposal is to grant $6,000 and split the balance between United Way and Cochise Family Advocacy Center. We would not be opposed to that, but of course there needs to be discussion, and we'll go with the will of the council.
Yes, sir.
What is the total monies that we're looking at here?
37.5.
For public services, $37,500.
And the others are gonna go into fire hydrants?
Projects, yeah,
Projects,
right,
fires.
and
hydrants.
administration, yep.
Yes,
What do you
sir.
think?
Unfortunately, that's the
What are
way
you
the
thinking?
federal law
Yeah.
is.
15%
Matt,
cap.
could you explain what the next steps are in the process?
Oh, right, of course. So the input that we received today will be factored into the draft annual action plan. That'll come back to you at your first meeting in April. That'll be a second public hearing. And then we'll put that out for a 30-day public comment period. And final action on the annual action plan will be at your first meeting in May. That's when we submit it to HUD. They have a 45-day review period. Assuming there are no issues, then we can expect a grant agreement late summer, early fall, usually late September, early October.
Questions of Mr. McLaughlin? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. We'll go to item number 4, Mr. Councilwoman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that resolution 2023-012, dissolving the Airport Commission, Arts and Humanities Commission, Commission on Disability Issues, Economic Development Commission, Environmental Affairs Commission, Tourism Commission, Library Advisory Commission, Youth Commission, and the West End Commission as department-led, non-regulatory commissions be approved.
Second.
Staff report, Ms. Yarborough?
Correction.
Yes.
I have a comment. I think that motion should have eliminated the Economic Development Commission.
Roger.
Roger.
No.
Dissolving the Economic
No, we
Development.
No, that one
Supposed to leave
stays
it.
in place.
That one stays in
right.
place.
All right.
The motion's good.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Dissolving it, not
Just want to make sure.
dissolving it, not bringing it back up.
But,
Should have
I
been
think he's
dissolved.
right.
no, we're not dissolving it.
Okay.
We're not making it a formal commission under the council.
Yes.
Thank
Yes,
you, Mayor
ma'am.
McCaw and members of council. So we did adjust all three of the agenda items before you related to commissions. We just missed actually updating the council agenda. So all of your agenda items are correct. I don't know, Jill, if we need to adjust the motion because it listed the Economic Development Commission, or if because the items are correct, we're okay.
I would just reread the motion eliminating the Economic Development Commission
Okay.
so that you're voting on a motion that doesn't have it in it,
I'm not seconding this.
if you don't mind.
Sorry, Dr. Landry.
I know, that's fine, no.
Okay, good catch.
Practice my public speaking. Mr. Mayor, I move that resolution 2023-012, dissolving the Airport Commission, Arts and Humanities Commission, Commission on Disability Issues, Environmental Affairs Commission, Tourism Commission, Library Advisory Commission, Youth Commission, and the West End Commission as department-led, non-regulatory commissions be approved.
Second.
Staff report, Ms. Yarborough.
Thank you again, Mayor McCaw and members of council. So assessing the roles of commissions was part of City Council's current strategic leadership plan. And so this item and the next two items are the result of that evaluation and then multiple work sessions of discussion on how to better address the commissions and their roles. So your first step in this chain of actions is to dissolve the departmental advisory commissions. You'll go on to establish several new commissions with a more focused mission, and then finally reestablish several current department advisory commissions as council advisory commissions. So this current agenda item before you is going to dissolve the department advisory commissions: Airport, Arts and Humanities, Commission on Disability Issues, Commission on Cultural Diversity, Environmental Affairs, Library, Tourism, West End, and Youth Commissions, which all currently advise the departments and are appointed by the city manager. And again, after your discussion on Tuesday, the Economic Development Commission was removed from this item, and it will remain a departmental advisory commission. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions, comments? Ready for the question? All those in favor, say aye. Opposed? It's passed. Item number 5.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Hopefully I will read this right with these adjustments. Mr. Mayor, I move the resolution 2023-13, establishing the Transportation Commission, Neighborhoods Commission, Environmental Stewardship Commission, Arts and Humanities, Cultural Diversity Commission, and Tourism Commission be approved.
Second.
Staff report, Mr. Yarborough.
Thank you, Mayor McCaw and members of council. So as Councilmember Rodriguez just listed, this will create a number of new commissions. Each of these new commissions will include various focus areas, including current commissions, the Airport, West End, Environmental Affairs, Arts and Humanities, Cultural Diversity, and Library Commissions, which will be folded into those new commissions. And they will all focus on or be connected to various general plan elements. Their missions will be updated to make more recommendations to council based on the general plan, strategic planning goals and initiatives, major projects and initiatives related to those commissions, to conduct research on proposals relevant to their focus areas, and to receive staff updates on progress regarding relevant general plan and strategic plan goals. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions about this item.
Questions, comments? Everybody ready for the question? All those in favor? Opposed? It's passed. Item number 6.
Mr. Mayor, I move the resolution 2023-014, reestablishing the Commission on Disability Issues and Youth Commission as City Council advisory bodies of the same names be approved.
Second.
Back to Ms. Staff report, Ms. Yarborough.
And Mayor McCaw, my apologies on this one because this one, the Tourism Commission was added to this as reestablishment, so I'd respectfully ask Councilmember Benning to restate that, including the Tourism Commission.
Tourism Commission, sir.
All right, if we do that, we have to go change the motion for item 5 also.
Rigid.
Huh?
Oh,
No. Wait.
We included it with
I
number 5.
included it when I said it.
You did.
Trust us.
Because I
All right, hold on.
was for the word.
All right, let me finish. One's establishing commissions we never had. So what's the difference? Let me ask this question then. What's the difference between 5 and 6?
Mayor McCaw, members of council, and Councilmember Benning, so for item number 5, you are establishing commissions that have not previously existed. They all have new names.
Okay.
The item number 6 is different because Commission on Disability Issues, Tourism, and Youth Commission all currently exist as departmental advisory commissions and previously existed as council advisory commissions of the same name. So you are reestablishing them as council advisory commissions of the same name.
Tracking. Okay. Mr. Mayor, I move resolution 2023-014, reestablishing the Commission on Disability Issues and Youth Commission and the Tourism Commission as City Council advisory boards of the same names be approved.
Second.
Staff report, Ms. Yarborough.
Thank you again, Mayor McCaw and members of council. So I think what I just stated explains this one fairly well. They all previously existed. You are simply reestablishing them as council advisory commissions who will be, members will be appointed by council. And after discussion on Tuesday, the Tourism Commission was added to this item. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions, comments? Ready for the question? All those in favor? And number 7, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2023-015 authorizing the application for an environmental water resources project grant from the Bureau of Reclamation be approved.
Second.
Staff report?
It'll be Mr. Sugg.
Sorry.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, this agenda item will authorize staff to apply for an environmental water resources projects grant through the Bureau of Reclamation. It is important to note that this item is for the application only. Funding is not guaranteed, and the grant process is expected to be highly competitive. If the application is successful, an additional action would likely be required to accept the grant. City is applying for this grant on behalf of the Cochise Conservation and Recharge Network, and the city was selected as the lead agency due to the grant requirements. The grant requires Tier 1 applicants to have water or power delivery authority, and the city has water delivery authority. The grant also requires the applicant to be registered as a potential recipient on federal websites, and due to the city's application history and success with other grants, staff already has the required registration. The Riverstone project is one of several recharge projects implemented or planned by the Cochise Conservation and Recharge Network. When full build-out is achieved, the projects will help to sustain the riparian environment along the San Pedro Riparian National Conservation Area, or SPRNCA. The Riverstone project was recently able to obtain design funding through the Sentinel Landscapes Readiness and Environmental Protection Integration Challenge program, known as REPI Challenge. And the grant application would be for construction funding. Per the terms of the grant, total project costs cannot exceed $6 million, with a required match from partner agencies of 25 to 50%. Based on the application criteria, staff believes the project will qualify for the lower 25% match. In addition, the REPI Challenge award of $925,000 and in-kind contributions can be used towards the match. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Questions, comments? No questions, comments? Ready for the question? All those in favor? It is passed. Thank you. Now we have a call to the public. We only have one here. Mr. Wallace. Welcome, sir. You have this.
Is it 3 minutes? I think it's 3 minutes.
Yes.
5 minutes? Yeah. Okay.
The strip will light up.
Okay.
It'll be green. When it's red, it'll be time. Your time has been exhausted.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mayor, City Council, amazing staff, our wonderful police department over here. Man, you guys are amazing. Thank you for all that you do. I'm going to go ahead and make this quick. I know what time it is. So the economic garden, man, that just blew me away because I had never heard about the economic garden. So I have a definition here. Economic gardening is an entrepreneurial approach to economic development that seeks to grow the local economy from within. Its premise is that local entrepreneurs create the companies that bring new wealth and economic growth to a region in the form of jobs, increased revenues, and a vibrant local business sector. You know, many times our enemies are from within, right? We may look on the outside and we may see, well, you know, that one's against me, that one's against me, and we forget, hey, there are people that are within our circle that may not be on the same lines as we are, you know, towards economic development, towards the United Way and the wonderful things that they're. I did not know that that's what you did, Mr. Moore. That's amazing. Lori's Place, you know, all of these things, they're not coming from, you know, some a place of, hey, you know, I'm foreign to what's going on, but they're coming from within, which I think just needs to be applauded. So I just wanted to recognize that, the CDBG, the things that Dr. Reed and Mr. Moore were doing, attorney at law, and the collaboration that is involved with the city, even the local businesses and the nonprofit organizations. I really, really want that to continue. And as far as our police force, I wanted to address that as well. There is a push that is trying to push them into a bad light. I did some research, and some of that seems like, I'm not going to make a judgment, but it seems like there's a push to make them nationalized. I don't know if you know about that, but it's a push to make them not have a local presence, but to do what those from on high want them to do. And I wanted to bring out the economic gardening, just to put it in perspective. We can do it. We are doing it. We are developing. We are helping out people with the rental assistance. We are helping our entrepreneurs. We are doing it. I think that's very, very important. And so as we continue our collaboration together and not let those outside voices try to come in and put an enemy within, because I think for the most part we work together and we work together wonderfully. Mayor, City Council, amazing staff in our police department and those that are involved. I just want to say this is amazing. Let's keep it amazing. All right, that's it. I'll yield my time back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Wallace. And we will comments and requests from the council. Councilwoman Messmer.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Wallace. That was great. And I'd like to thank everybody that came and gave their presentations today. I've been to a lot of events, but I just picked out a couple of this week. I went to the Joint Services meeting, and they were someone, and I apologize to that person, or the organization, announced that our Better Bucks work program have moved 4 of the workers into full-time employment, which I think that is huge. So I just wanted to mention that. And then our Cultural Diversity had their meeting, and we hopefully it'll still stand, but we did our calendar for the year for a couple of events, so I'm looking forward to that. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to thank the Girl Scouts that were here today. It's so great to see a great organization like that. I was a Boy Scout, and I still know what a woman is. And yesterday was International Women's Day, so it was great having them here, and it's great that the young folks are taking a pledge to that flag.
Yes, sir.
And wanting to serve their communities. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Landry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And thanks for everybody that came and presented. And Mr. Wallace, thanks for coming and sharing with us. It's good to see. It's always good to see you. This weekend, the San Pedro Kiwanis, they're having their Shamrock Fun Run or Walk, Saturday at 8 a.m. You can find out more information at KiwanisShamrock5K.eventbrite.com. And it's a really great event that they put on. They support scholarship and school programs, helping the youth in the community. So definitely check that out. If you don't want to participate in the fun run or walk, maybe you can find out if there's different ways that you can help and support them and kind of share what all they do. This weekend is a special weekend for me because Mr. Landry and I are celebrating our 11th anniversary. So I wanted to wish him a happy anniversary. It's great to be married to my best friend, somebody who is a great partner with me. I came to Sierra Vista years ago, came from a domestic violence situation. So Sierra Vista was a special place for me. I came here scared, didn't know what was going on. I found a great life here with amazing people in the community, amazing friends, amazing support system, and I found my love of my life as well. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. Sierra Vista is a great place, and I'm so happy to be here and being able to serve. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman Rodriguez.
Thank you, sir. Congrats to you, Mr. Landry. He's an old battle buddy of mine. 35 Golfs leading the way here. Go Winters.
Yes, sir.
I want to congratulate all the employees today that got their pins for 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25-year employees. A lot of places don't see that anymore, especially that far end, right? People don't stay that long. So I really appreciate all the people that have hung out in our city for that long and do amazing things. We have an amazing staff all around. For those that couldn't make it because they're busy doing things, hopefully you'll get your certificate, and we'll all shake your hand whenever we see you. So that was good to see those people today at lunch, and I'm really proud of them for hanging in there. And we'll try to take care of you guys as best as we can. Shout out to the winners of the YES Fair, the YES, right, which put on by SSVEC, cooperative of the Youth Engineering Science Fair, and our youth right here in our throughout the county, but a lot of people here local here doing amazing things at that fair. When it comes to like the Mr. Manuel Castillo from Veritas, he had Battle of the Octanes. He won for that. Some Buena High School had people that won. Some middle school off-post, on-post had winners there. It was amazing just looking at their projects and the thought process. And I really want to thank their parents, their instructors, their teachers for pushing them, and all the local supporters that funded this and gave the prize money for our local vendors. It's good to see local businesses give back to our community that they live in, and I wish I wish they would all do that, but I appreciate the ones that do. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Benny.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be brief and short for the 50, 60 that are here and the thousands that are watching on YouTube. I got to attend the grand opening for the economic gardening, and it was a great facility, great place. Mr. Wallace, always a pleasure hearing from you. I'm gonna do some collaborating. That's Mr. Simonton. He's on the IDA. Talk to him afterwards. We always need good people. And then I want to congratulate everybody today. I'm sorry I couldn't get to the luncheon. I couldn't get out of work, but I was trying. So I just want to say congratulations to everybody. And I want to thank all three organizations for coming in tonight, talking to us. Your passion is forefront in everything you do and say. So we appreciate it. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm glad you guys mentioned the employee awards luncheon, because that's always really fun. But I noticed a trend that as the years go up, the more excited the people are coming up on stage, and I don't know what that says, but the mayor made a funny comment, or maybe it was our city manager, about it was almost like The Price is Right, the way they were like, it was really great. And I'm always so grateful for all the hard work they put in over those years. And I believe, and Chuck can correct me if I'm wrong, it was a combined 474 years among the 55 employees being recognized this afternoon, which is incredible. And then next week is spring break, so I hope everyone has a good time, fun time, because our schools are going to be taking a break, and we're going to have our Tsunami Bash, spring break Tsunami Bash night from 7 to 10 on Friday the 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day, I think.
Turn the water green? No?
Oh, like in Chicago. Or it's always green. I
Not
don't
on
know.
purpose.
And it's only $10, and you get pizza and soda and 3 hours of fun time with the wave machine and the slides. So something to do with the kids while they're at home driving us all crazy. Thank you so much. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Any alibis? Well, thank you first to the Better Works. Was out with Mr. McLaughlin. Outstanding program that they have. Just remarkable about the things they do. How much trash they collect, and how they cleaning our community. So, Mr. McLaughlin, Better Works program, thank you, sir. Thank you all you do. Girl Scouts, love them. I was not a Girl Scout, but my sister was, and I just loved their commitment. And I'm so excited about the reestablishment of the commissions that we did tonight. Looking forward to visiting each commission to see your progress. I know the Youth Commission is doing remarkable things, and I just applaud you. My first awards presentation, and yes, we had to comment that it was like a Price is Right atmosphere, the way they were coming up. So, thank you, and congratulations.
Texas Roadhouse did a good job on the food too.
Oh yes, Texas Roadhouse did a great job on the food. With that, we'll adjourn.